So this is News Desk. I am Amisi Nyamiche Thompson. Coming up this hour, government assures the electricity company of Ghana will not be sold.
We are not selling ECG, and let me put this on record.
So that decision has now been made?
It's been made.
Concession.
We are not selling ECG.
Also coming up, Minority Leader Alexander Henyo-Markin says intended demonstration scheduled for Monday is not solely a new patriotic party agenda.
Tokonu does not have a good interpersonal relationship. She is snobbish, she is this, she is that. But I want you to know that if they allow them to use you today, tomorrow they will come after you.
Well, these plus some business updates on our desk. Stay for details. And in our first story, government is assured that the electricity company of Ghana will not be sold or privatized. These statements follow fears that the power provider will be sold to offset its debt and improve efficiency. First, let's hear Energy Minister John Jinapor, who spoke to Evans Mensah on PM Express on Wednesday.
We've gone to Cabinet. Cabinet has chosen the option of concession. We are not selling ECG, and let me put this on record.
So that decision has now been made?
It's been made.
Concession.
We are not selling ECG. Far from that. And so ignore the misinformation, ignore the misconception. Cabinet has taken a definitive position that we require some level of private sector participation, but not to sell the company outright. So what are we talking about? And I try to put it simple. ECG will remain the holding company. So ECG has this room as ECG operational area. They divide into 4-3. Roland company, you take one. Yours is to manage that sector or that geographical area. At the end of the month, we check how much power came to you. Just hypothetically, maybe 20 megawatts. And so we check the gigawatt hours that you consumed. And we say that this is the price. Pay us. You pay ECG. How you collect the money is your cup of tea.
So you have to pay ECG upfront?
No, you put a deposit or a guarantee.
Okay.
You put a guarantee because before you can qualify, we're going to have what you call RFQ, which is request for qualification. So that we sieve off some companies and have top-notch companies through a competitive process. Then you go to what you call an RFP, request for proposal. Then based on those proposals and based on the criteria, we eventually select the concessionaires. So that concessionaire or that company must have capacity, which includes financial capacity, technical capacity, and all the issues we are talking of. And so it's not like go and get some friends to come and take a contract. We're taking a transaction advisor. Competitive bidding, competitive process. So that we'll get a very good company. So simply put, what we are going to do is to buy ball power from ECG and sell.
So ECG is guaranteed their money?
Yes.
And then it is you, this private player, it's your job to go and sell what you pay ECG.
That is your job.
Well, at the May Day celebration at the Black Star Square on Thursday, President John Mahama also weighed in on the issue, clarifying that the ECG will not be privatized despite ongoing concerns about the state of the country's power sector.
In the distribution of power. Let me assure you that is not my intention to privatize the ECG as an institution. Our attention is more a public-private collaboration to inject efficiency into our downstream electricity distribution system. And I must say, it will not be the first time. It's been done before.
Well, let's engage General Secretary of the Public Utilities Workers Union Pool, Timothy Nyame, and he joins us via Zoom. We're grateful for your time, Timothy. Can you unmute and speak to us? Do we have Timothy on the line?
Good morning, please can you hear me?
I can hear you now loud and clear. And so I'm asking, right.
Good morning to your viewers.
Thank you. So, Timothy, the president, the energy minister, have reiterated that ECG will not be sold nor be privatized. What other information are you receiving? I mean, is there anything contrary to this that you know?
Thank you very much. And yes, that assurance was given by Honorable Minister when we went visited his office, that they are not selling ECG, which we understood. You know, in this country, we have come to meet PSP and privatization as one in the same. So in our position paper to the ministry, we still have a position on that, saying that look, PSP and privatization are one and the same, because you are surrendering some portions of the organization to the private sector, and that's what we state our position. And in doing so, we also raise issues for their attention, which have been sent as a position paper to them, and that's what we are standing on to us. So I appeal to them that look, they should look at our position and let's see how to work on it. But for him to say that we have settled on private sector participation at the retail end, it's a very serious cause for concern by ECG and for the workers of ECG.
Well, if the private sector is coming in, is there any indication that ownership by the private sector will exceed that of government?
Not necessarily, but all that we are trying to say is that what do you need the private sector to come and do?
They are helping. So at least we understand from government that there are issues with revenue generation. It's not as efficient. If they introduce the private sector to come in and help, you know, it's going to boost revenue generation at the ECG and also help in operationalization at the company. And you think that that is not, you know, prudent enough to do, since it's not been, you know, the operations of ECG hasn't been as prudent in the last few years?
Issues hampering revenue generation have been enumerated and submitted to the minister. One, we are saying the cost of power that we purchase, the cost of power needs to be renegotiated, and it is in the agreement. All the IPPs have an agreement that we have to renegotiate the pricing of the power. Number two, we need adequate meters at the retail end to install meters that we can read. Availability of meters to our customers. So, sister, when we don't have meters at our customers, and you are telling the private sector they should come and install the meters and then read and collect money. Why can't government or why can't ECG be given the opportunity, leverage on the same way that you are going to give to the private sector, to also do the same? That's what we are asking for. And look, the cost of power that we are buying, we see it as not competitive enough compared with the West Africa price with our neighboring countries. One. Number two, that we are buying power in dollars, and you know the fluctuation of the currency. So, in the other conditions in the IPPs, when we have take or pay, those agreements need to be reviewed. And as I said earlier on that, circumstances that brought us to where we signed this agreement are now different. I said that look, during those times, there was no availability of power. So when somebody brings power, we are bound to abide by it. But over the time, once it's time for them to renegotiate the agreement with IPPs, from take or pay and take and pay, so that when I buy power at 100 megawatts, when I buy 100, when you supply 100 megawatts and I use 50, I should be paying for 50 and not the 100. You understand? We should change also.
Mr. Kwame, so I understand your frustration. Mr. Nyame, I beg your pardon. Your frustrations are well noted, which is why government is taking this step. It also boils down to efficient management of resources in ECG. And so government says this is the way to at least bring back ECG on the right path. And you still insist, even though evidence proves that over the years, its management has not been efficient.
It's not necessarily true. When you put in place management and there are manipulations, when there's government interference in the operation of management, how can they be able to deliver? So we have given them this KPI. As we speak now, His Excellency has appointed the managing director who has shown the way. He has signed performance agreement with the district managers of what, when you perform, you reach a particular target, you are rewarded. When you don't reach that place, you are sanctioned. They should also put in place a competent board of directors with the oversight responsibility of the minister to see to operation at the top level there. So that we are saying, look, the company, the ECG, is a public institution. So are you saying that with all the training and equipment of staff, we are not able to get people to direct the affairs of the company rather than giving it to the private individual, and of course fragmenting it into what manageable areas? Why can't the manager show that direction?
If you're so convinced that the management can do a proper job, how is it that we're still in this situation?
Which situation are we? The situation when
ECG has a debt of over 60 billion cedis. They've not been able to accrue enough revenue to offset that debt. It's almost going down the drain. How then should government, you've proffered some solutions, but if the current management was able to ensure that this is done, I'm sure government would have considered that option, wouldn't they?
So government should task management or the authorities to negotiate the price of the IPP. We see it as on the high side. Number two, they should make available the meters. They should provide adequate meters at the retail end. My sister, as we speak now, the IPPs are being controlled by the private sector, and you are bringing the private sector to come and control the retail end. What is that? Guys. You guys. Something that we are going to sit down and allow those things to go about in the name of private sector participation. We have enumerated issues that, for the attention of the ministry, for that matter, the government, that they should put those things in place and allow ECG to operate as a government entity with deliverables at the top, which will cascade downwards. So having said that, it means that those things being put in place, it will make ECG to be transformed. They should just take off the hands of the politicians, so that when they want to do procurement, properly competitive procurement, so that they will buy things that are needed. They will provide the support for repairs and maintenance, so that we can get competitive power that we are buying.
Right. Just before I let you off, who do you suggest should man the affairs of ECG now if an appointed person shouldn't do so?
Oh, for now, Excellency has appointed by the managing director, who has shown to us, who has started working, and the workers are about to do his vision. So we are only waiting for the board to be put in place to also direct the affairs of the managing director. Reward those who are working, sanction those who are not working. So that we are asking.
All right. Grateful for your time. Timothy Nyame is Public Utilities Workers Union General Secretary. We're grateful for your time this morning on our desk. Well, President Mahama says he is not giving up the fight against illegal mining despite the complexities in tackling the menace. His comments come amidst calls for the repeal of LI 2462, which permits mining in forest reserves. The latest group to join the demand is Organized Labour, which says the president must act decisively to tackle the menace. And joining us in this conversation is Senor Hosi for more on this. We're grateful for your time, Senor. Do we have Senor Hosi on the line? So, as I said earlier, President John Mahama has said that he's not giving up the fight against illegal mining despite the complexities. And as we all know, he spoke at the Labor Day yesterday at the Black Star Square, indicating that he's not going to be able to finish that fight in a matter of months. But however, given the situation now, he's going to continue with the fight. Let's listen to the president at the Black Star Square yesterday.
Against Galamsey is a complex one. And when I was vying for the presidency, I did not kid myself that when I come into office, I will win that fight in 4 months. Yet, we will not give up. Our gallant men of the armed forces and security services are up to the fight and will continue to score successes against the selfish companies and individuals who are destroying our forests and polluting our water bodies. As far as the fight against Galamsey is concerned, I say, a luta continua.
Well, Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin says the intended demonstration scheduled for Monday is not solely a new patriotic party initiative, but a broader national call to defend the independence of the judiciary. Mr. Afenyo-Markin indicates that the protest, which has been endorsed by some other opposition political party, will register public disapproval over the suspension of Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo.
But I have something to tell our respected judges. Some of them, I am aware, we are aware, that are being promised by the NDC government. Today, it is Torkornoo. Tomorrow, it may be them. They should listen and listen well. I want all judges in the country to know that their institution is under attack. The NDC government is approaching you, the judges, telling you that, oh, Torkornoo does not have a good interpersonal relationship. She is snobbish, she is this, she is that. But I want you to know that if they allow them to use you today, tomorrow they will come after you. Yep. Act collective. Yes. It is your institution which is under attack.
President John Mahama says the Black Star Experience is his government's solemn pledge to rebrand Ghana as he launched the initiative, which is expected to attract investment, create new jobs and increase tourism. Speaking at the launch on Thursday evening at the Freedom and Justice Monument, President Mahama said the Black Star Experience will ensure year-round celebrations across major entertainment, artistic and educational disciplines. He promised to model on the runway during Ghana Fashion Week, one of the many events planned as part of the celebrations. Presidential Parliamentary Correspondent Maxwell Agbagba has more in this report.
It was a night of culture. Beautiful things that made Timbuktu what it was, the beautiful things that made Dubois' voice what it was. So come back home to memories not only of Nkrumah, for we have invoked our
poetry and music. The atmosphere was alive with energy, and President Mahama couldn't resist the opportunity to hit the dance floor. The Black Star Experience is part of President John Mahama's 120-day social contract, an initiative dedicated to celebrating Ghanaian creativity, arts, film, fashion, tourism, and innovation through a series of events, platforms, and strategic investments. Coordinator of the Black Star Festival, Rex Ousumafo, outlined a packed calendar of events that would form part of the experience.
Global marketing amplification of Emancipation Day and Panafest. This year, we are going to take Panafest to another level. We will amplify Panafest and we position it in a global eye so that what it was set up to do will happen. Your Excellency, Creatives Connect will happen again this November, but this time we are making it international. We are bringing global thought leaders and top industry practitioners to come so that we can learn from them and give us right direction and position us in a global eye. We are going to overhaul and make stronger the Dirty December calendar with another major star-studded annual festivals and supporting events across this country. And I want to emphasize, in most cases, we spend our money to bring foreign programs like Afro Nation, like other projects that belongs to other people. They come and collect our dollars and go. This time we want to empower the Ghanaian creative entrepreneur to create our own projects and develop it so that we can also export.
Your head diverse. Maybe you get car. You dey drag benzo. You dey use your leg. You dey big trot.
Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Ablajifa Gomashi, said that the Black Star Experience will help project Ghana's image on the global stage.
The Black Star Experience, a strategic intervention to showcase Ghana's unique culture and heritage to the world. It is posited to enhance the transversal potential of the nation's creative and cultural essence as a veritable offering to the Ghanaian people, Africa and its diaspora, and to the world.
President Mahama described the experience as his government's solemn pledge to rebrand Ghana, boost tourism, attract investment, and create jobs. He promised to model on the runway during the Ghana Fashion Week, which is part of the tall list of activities.
And yes, when we host the Ghana Fashion Week in July, it's going to be a full 7 days to spotlight our vibrant fashion industry. And this is the interesting one. I, your president, will proudly take to the catwalk because this experience is real and it belongs to all of us. If you notice, I wear made in Ghana clothes. This is my round neck. We popularly call it Jonathan, yeah? And then I have political suits, all sewn by Ghanaian designers. And even if you see me wear a suit, it is made in Ghana. And so on that day, I'm going to go into my wardrobe, and I'm going to change 3 times. And I'm going to walk on the catwalk. And anytime I walk, I'll tell you which designer sewed that particular dress.
Well, let's go back to our former story. President John Mahama saying he's not giving up the fight against illegal mining despite the complexities in tackling the menace. His comments come amidst calls for the repeal of LI 2462, which permits mining in forest reserves. The latest group to join the demand is Organized Labour, which says the president must act decisively to tackle that menace. And we're grateful that Senyor Hossi is a lead convener of the One Ghana movement and also an economic policy analyst, join us via Zoom. Senyor, we're grateful for your time on News Desk. Kindly unmute and speak to us, Senyor. So, Senyor, if you can hear me, the president says he's not giving up the fight against illegal mining at the Black Star Square yesterday and said it's only a few months and he doesn't expect that people will let him finish fighting that fight in just 4 months. Do you think the president's words is decisive enough in the fight against Galamsey?
Hello.
Senyor, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Grateful for your time on our desk. Yesterday, the president made a statement on the Galamsey fight saying that it's only 4 months and he can't finish the fight in just a few months. However, he will continue to, fight this menace. Is that decisive enough for you?
Well, I'm sure we all would want something stronger from our president on this particular matter. I must admit that in the past few months, we've seen progress. As a coalition, we have seen progress. We've seen a lot more cooperation from the part of government. Initiatives like the Blue Water thing was welcome. We've seen some strong hands shown relative to Akonta mining, but we're here to see prosecutions. We are also aware that they've held various engagement with their own people, giving them some strong warnings. That's true. We've seen some effort towards fixing the airline. We have said very clearly it has to be repealed. Our conversations with the Lands Minister, Honorable Kofi Boa, have been quite productive. He's indicated he understands and identifies with our proposal and our position to have the airline removed. I think recently we heard from Sami Jimfi, the CEO of Gold Board, indicating that the airline will be repealed. These are positive steps. We didn't see that much cooperation much earlier, but they are not enough. We have to deal with the ultimate effect. How are our rivers turning out? I flew with the Lands Minister and he put me in a helicopter, went over the forest reserves, and it was very terrible. 7,500 of the equivalent of 7,500 football fields equivalent of our forest reserve is gone. I mean, what was there for our children, our children's children? This is the reserve that actually holds our ecology intact, that actually feeds our rivers. You look at our rivers, look how they've really gone bad. Our inability to even process good water. The risk here is so high for us to just see it as some ongoing battle, as if we are dealing with HIV/AIDS. We are not dealing with HIV/AIDS. All right, it's a very critical thing that needs social change. But this is not something that needs social change. It's something that needs executive power, taking full action, decisive action, and holding the bull by the horn, cracking the whip mercilessly, because for us, it is war. So I'm not going to see it as an aluta continua matter. It is, I don't know what term to use, but it's something that we must bring to naught and bring to naught immediately, as much as possible. If we have to start with the airline, let's get the airline out. Then we know that legally we have eliminated legal exposure to the key ecological structures that Galamsey or mining would affect. Remember, Galamsey for us is not just illegal mining. It's also irresponsible mining. So even if it's legal and it's not responsibly being done, it is still Galamsey for us. So that step has to go. If we think there are people still occupying our forest reserves who are actually destroying them, I expect the presidency for those areas go proceed with the state of emergency. Go in there and clean it out. You know, we need some strong actions. We heard of Akuta Mani, great job done by the ministry. Where are the arrests of the directors? Have we arraigned anybody before court yet? Nothing. Who else apart from Akuta Mani? Akuta Mani is not the only one. There are other people who are also perceived to be linked to the current government. What action are they taking? We need to be very firm about it, because what is at stake, all right, is not your exchange rate. You know, the president says that it is complicated. The same language we heard from the previous government. But the NDC stood by us and they agreed with us that certain actions had to be taken, and Galamsey brought to note last year. So if you think we all thought that it was viable for Nanado to take strong steps to practically bring this to naught, I don't see why we can't be talking about 4 months.
Well, the president says that it's not going to take just 4 months to stop this. In your view, what else should he do in this short space of time to ensure, to make you feel comfortable that this fight is really going on?
We've asked, I can agree with the president. He's coming to office, now getting security structures in place to some extent, agreed. But over the next 4 months, we should see this being brought to proper naught. 1, we asked for the airline to be repealed. 2, who were responsible for allowing people or sitting aloof while all these respectfully nonsense went on. That people destroyed it. We have to hold our people accountable. Our own people, we use our taxpayers' money to pay people to protect it. Mine workers, mineral commission inspectors who are supposed to make sure people are working within their territories. Have they flagged it? What action did we take? What happened to the security agencies? What actions did they take? If nobody took it, take action against them so that you start creating a structural change in the way we think and manage our processes. That aside, legal structures, take out the airline, agreed. Go into the field. Those who are pillaging it, declare state of emergency, send our military there. It is war. You saw the work that they did at Abiwan Inkran. These are whole new communities, and there's another one called Jerusalem. And I commend the government. It's not that I have to admit, a lot of progress has been made, but the progress is not enough.
Right.
Going forward, we need to see stronger action, very strong action, because we'll say that for this first 4 months, the government has spent time trying to understand the situation more from a government perspective. There are problems people try to bring in trying to fight this. People raise issues about the exchange rate and the fact that the gold has become critical. Okay, save your exchange rate today and destroy your future and your children's future tomorrow. Where is the wisdom in that?
Well,
we spent $7.2 billion or so bringing in excavators, only for us to get 4.5 billion out of the ground. Does that make sense to you? It doesn't. We have to reprioritize and look for optimal ways to run our economy. If we're going to promote such, generational distraction,
right?
Just because we want to survive today, we are a bunch of irresponsible people, and we are not fit to be called leaders or parents of this time. So we support the president and what he's done so far, but going forward, we need stronger action. We don't want to hear a luta continua and all that be the story. No. We hear that we are going to bring independence to this matter. A luta continua sounds like some ongoing fight. We want independence and want independence now, like what Nkuma said. We want closure of Galamsey now, so that our waters and our children's future can be saved and protected.
Right. So, Senor, let me ask you this before I let you off. Do you think that at this rate, at the end of 4 years, you think that Galamsey will be banned completely in this country?
I think that Galamsey is illegal. So in the first place, it's not something that you need to ban. You need to enforce the laws and hold people responsible and accountable.
Well, even though it's illegal, it's going on, isn't it? It's illegal, yet it's going on. So,
we want to stop it. We don't want to ban it because it's already banned.
Yes.
So there's no banning again because it's already illegal. But we have to stop it. Question: how do we stop it? It takes leadership. It takes us to deploy national resources to make it happen. It needs us to accept that we need to re-engineer our economic structure so we don't get addicted to this menace that's destroying us in today's terms and in tomorrow's terms. So it can be done. I don't see why, as president, by the end of this year, we can boldly say Galamsey is over. And there's another thing we need to do. We need to put in a monetary mechanism. In this country, a lot of time when we talk about policy, we talk about inputs. We have done black water, we've done blue water gas, we've put these people here. It's enough. What is the output? The output for us is the quality of our water. So every month, we need to start taking samples of our water and publish the quality of it. See if it is improving or is not improving. If it's improving, that means that the interventions that we are making are actually constructive. We need to quarterly measure the volume of our forest reserve. Is it reducing? If it's reducing, that means we are not making progress in what we are saying. And in all these things, there's something we all forget. We really are not making income,
right?
Revenue to government from Galamsey. How are for even the legal small-scale mining companies, how are they even recovering the ones that they destroyed legally? Are we actually getting proper reforestation? Are they recovering the land? Are they restoring the entire place? We need proper accountability in that matter. And I have to be honest, I think Mineral Commission has to do a bit more. And people must be held accountable in that particular helm.
All right. Senor, we're grateful for your time this morning on our desk. Thank you very much.
Pleasure any day. Right.
Now, more than 1,500 people displaced 2 months ago in renewed chieftaincy violence in 2 communities in the Bumpurugu-Nakpanduri district are still unable to return to their homes. The 2 communities were completely burned in February, forcing residents to flee to hide in farmlands and unknown bushes. And correspondent Elias Utanko has more on this report.
The 2 communities were attacked and destroyed separately in February 2 months ago. Firstly, at Ngamagborok, which is near Bindi along the Nakpanduru-Bumpurugu road. The attack occurred on February 5th and 8th, 2025, following renewed land and chieftaincy disagreement between members of the 2 mobile clans in the community. Members of one of the clans returning from a chieftaincy installation ceremony on February 8th were said to have been attacked on their way by unidentified armed men. In retaliation, the community was surrounded and overrun by armed attackers. The attackers burned down the whole community of about 286 households and large quantities of food stocks. When Joy News visited the community a few days ago, it remained a ghost town, with the displaced residents now hiding out in their far-flung farmlands and unknown bushes. Coincidentally, some of the residents had come to check on their damaged properties at the time Joy News was in the community, and we caught up with them.
Yada Euro Mbana temi uro ma Diane Yinashi Mbana uro ma na wo manya mango kura ya mango kakra kraba na wo ma dia ble Euro unse Euro muna ye fliba ya etia
na krano so mudidi ya na o moye de
kwa bia mango no wo me de bana ya miensa ya temi yiba okura na ya de mango na ya de ochini ya
They called on the government to come to their aid. Joy News also visited the Nani community, which was attacked on the 28th of the same month of February by unknown armed men believed to have come from the nearby Bimbago community. Community was attacked and all its 176 houses completely burned down following renewed tension over the controversial elevation of the Nani Chieftaincy skin to paramountcy status. 6 people were killed, including a non-native teacher, and 4 others were injured. Public services, including education and healthcare delivery, remain unavailable in the areas. According to figures from NADMO, a total of 1,642 people, including women and children, were displaced in both violence. The district chief executive for the area, Joseph Lacher, confirmed to Joy News that the displaced residents are yet to return to their homes 2 months after the attacks.
Do you know where the residents, those that have fled in these 2 communities, where they are currently?
Frankly speaking, the DSA had it that most of them are staying in the bush. They are not living in any community. They just went to the bush, created their own camp, and they are living there. I'm here to actually find out where they are so that I'll visit them.
More worryingly, the DCE said efforts are now underway to locate the hideout of the displaced victims and bring them back to their communities.
It is a misfeeling. The best or one of the options is that I thank God that I've come to solve a problem that maybe wouldn't happen. Easy to solve. And I know with God it won't be a magic problem I'll solve and bring them home. That's the first listen. But the second, imagine under this weather, with these mosquitoes, and the rain threatening to come, then women and children living in bush. You don't know where they are living. In fact, it's something that when you think about it, you can't even sleep. You're not able to sleep. How can you sleep under that condition?
The DC also added that as part of measures for a lasting solution to the recurring chieftaincy disturbances in the region, he will advise the regional traditional authorities to codify all chieftaincy succession plans in the region. From Bunkurugu, Ilyas Sotanko reporting for Joy News.
Well, let's engage Joseph Lanche. He's a DCE for Bumpurugu and joins us on this conversation. We're grateful for your time, Mr. Lanche. Could you unmute and speak to us?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So more than 1,400 people were displaced in these 2 communities. What steps have you taken to ensure that they are supported or they return back to the communities? Do we still have Mr. Lanche on the line?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
So I'm saying that first of all, we try to identify where they've run to. And then the little assistance that we can assist them to get something to eat. Before we now think of how we'll resolve the issue and bring them back home. Because we are getting to the farming season, they must come back home to farm.
Well,
so all efforts are due to make sure that they return to their homes.
So where exactly are they now? Are they with other family members? Are they situated in another place? Where?
Yes, and sisters somewhere in nearby villages. They are living with family members.
Right, right. But what security measures are being put in place, to fix the fundamental problems in these communities?
Yeah, please, this is the district coordinating director.
Right.
Yes. When the issue started, it was first attack and then second attack. So when the first attack happened, what we did was, as DISEC, we met. After meeting, we decided that we need to engage the communities, the clans that are involved. So first of all, we moved to Bimbago. We engaged the regent of Bimbago, and they gave us assurance that they don't have any hand in whatever was happening. But we just appealed to him that, to them, that they should try and then speak to the people so that we don't have an escalation. So after Bimbago, we moved to the first attack. We moved to I've forgotten the name of it. Ngama. We moved there and engaged them too. So after engaging them all, and we came back, it was later on then the second attack happened. So after all this engagement, we were also invited to RISEC meeting. We're invited to RISEC meeting together with all the chiefs of those areas. So even Bunkurubu chief was part of the invitees. Bindi chief was part of the invitees.
So at that meeting that you met the chiefs, exactly what agreements came out of that meeting?
Yeah, at the meeting, it was the regional minister gave instruction that everybody should put their guns down and allow peace to prevail. And the chiefs, they all agreed to that. But unfortunately, when we returned, then the second attack happened.
All right.
So currently, we have renovated a place in Tinanik where the problem is. And we are bringing enough security persons to come and stay there so that they can beef up the security at that area.
Right. Okay. Well, we hope that you're able to fix the problems in these two communities and bring back the residents from where they are currently. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Lantry, and then the coordinating director at Bumpurugi's Assembly. Now, for more than 6 months, the Chiman, the bustling heart of Bono East and a critical commercial hub, has been plunged into darkness. Its principal streets have remained in total darkness due to non-functioning street lights, a situation residents say has turned their nights into a nightmare of crime, accidents and economic losses. Anasa Beat reports.
Techiman, the bustling regional capital of the Bono East region and a vital commercial hub, has been plunged into a prolonged crisis. For months, the major streets here have remained in total darkness due to Chiman, the bustling regional capital of the Bono East region and a vital commercial hub, has been plunged into a prolonged crisis. For months, the major streets here have remained in total darkness due to
We apologize for that technical hitch there. We'll break now for business. We'll be right back.
Back to business here on Newsdesk. My name is Winston Taki, and on to our first business story. The government has announced the month of August as the start of the 2025-2026 cocoa crop season, urging the farmers to produce more and not to hold their yields. Speaking to cocoa farmers in the Brong-Ahafo region, the Chief Executive of the Ghana Cocoa Board, Dr. Ransford Abbey, assured the farmers of an upward adjustment of cocoa producer price that will be above the price in the neighboring country with the start of the new crop season. Precious Semavo has more.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Cocoa Board, Dr. Ransford Abbey's working visit to the cocoa growing districts of the Brong-Ahafo region offered him first-hand concerns of cocoa farmers, staff and some traditional leaders. At separate debates at Katoa Ninetu, near Brekum and Timponso at Duankwanta, the farmers raised challenges impacting the sector that require government intervention. Joseph Kwame Omwako has been a cocoa farmer at Duankwanta for over 5 decades.
The insecticides they are bringing, it should be time-bound, because at times when it will come, the thing has already spoiled. Most of our roads are not motorable. Have to get to the place and come back. It's a problem, so government should assist us at that place. For the irrigation, we can dig this borehole so that we send it to the farms. I think that will help us.
Over 7,000 women cocoa farmers in the region produced 4,355 metric tons of cocoa last year, mostly with older women. Paulina Techiajiman believes a strategic initiative by the government will entice young women into cocoa farming.
This time, the youth don't want to go to farm at all. When you see only the elderly women have involved themselves in the cocoa farming. So I'm saying that the government should support us with inputs and their money. At least when we can get some petty loans to support what we are doing.
Chief Executive Dr. Ransford Abbey appealed to the farmers to exercise patience as steps are taken to reset the sector to address concerns such as roads and healthcare. He revealed the new cocoa season date and planned producer price.
In other development, the former Member of Parliament for Menchia South, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, has unveiled the ambition of making the constituency a hub of shoemaking in the country. He has affirmed the commitment of empowering youth and artisans through skills development with the launch of the Menchia South Shoemaking Hub project under the Make Ghana Proud initiative in Kumasi. The initiative is designed to promote technical craftsmanship, entrepreneurship, and local production. There's more in this report.
Shoemakers and artisans in the Menchia South constituency have been assembled in efforts to enhance their skills, form a cohesive market, and gauge the supply and demand for shoemaking in the country. The Menchia South Shoemaking Hub project is aimed at empowering craftsmanship and creating jobs through a robust shoe production hub for the constituency. Under 7 phases, artisans and beneficiaries are expected to be inculcated with skills in product development, branding, marketing, and certification. Addressing the theme, Empowering Hands, Elevating Dreams, Crafting Ghana's Future, Dr. Opoku Prempeh indicated that the long-standing advocacy for technical and vocational education is now practically transforming community life.
Skills are not an alternative, they are essential. Craftsmanship is not a fallback, it is the foundation for progress. The Menchia Shoemaking Hub project is an extension of that vision, and nurtured by the belief that local solutions driven by local hands can lift entire communities and change the fortunes of nations. Today, we proudly celebrate the progress we have made. In phase 1, we conducted a comprehensive needs assessment to understand the gaps and opportunities in the shoemaking sector.
The Menchia South Shoemaking Hub project featured the recognition of pioneer master shoemakers who have successfully completed structured training under the project's first phase. The launch also marked the beginning of a broader ambition to establish a common facility center in Menchia South to nurture apprentices and brand made in Ghana footwear for domestic and international markets. Coordinator of the Menchia South Shoemaking Hub projects, Mina Antwi says an assessment has revealed that there is a demand market for jobs and trade to absorb artisans and their products.
Going to go back to them. That is the idea that we have. This is the vision that we want to share with Ghanaians. That one day we want Menchia South to be the shoemaking hub of Ghana. That if you want to have good shoes, it should be in Menshasa. I was even asking them why everything was black slipper, and they told me that in Kumasi, if you do brown slippers, they won't buy. They prefer the black. Actually, that was an eye-opening for me, because if you want to do a project, you need to understand the needs of the people you are targeting. So we've come to understand that this is the situation of Kumasi, so we will do it according to how they like. However, I believe that if we do it better, we can have the products and the markets beyond Kumasi.
Meanwhile, Pioneer Master shoemakers say their skills have been polished to produce standardized products for shoes for consumers.
We can make in Ghana products now. The higher packaging, 2 skills, 2 finishing. In idea, shoemakers are your Ghana and Menshasa tonight. You're lucky. We may have fair, but finishing a problem. You call your Nina, how to diversify a package and how a quiet also I'll turn them online.
For Joy News, my name is Clinton.
That's all for business here on Newsdesk. Mamisi is standing by to bring you the latest news coming through. Mamisi.
Thank you so much, Winston. And news just coming in, we understand that the former boss of the National Signals Bureau, Mr. Edubuahin, has been remanded into prison custody, and our legal affairs correspondent Latif Idrisu is standing by to give us the very latest. Latif, what's happening in court now?
Yeah, so the in-camera proceedings here at the general jurisdiction of the Accra High Court just ended. The ruling is that Kwabena Edubuahin has been remanded into prison custody for 7 days. That was the ruling by the trial judge. If you recall, on Wednesday evening, Yoko brought Kwabena Edubuahin here at the High Court. His pleas were taken. He pleaded not guilty to all of the charges. The Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayini, made a revelation before the court that surveillance he has, intelligence he has, shows that Kwabena Edubuahin attempted to interfere with potential witnesses in this particular trial, and so opposed to the call by his lawyers for him to keep on enjoying the current bail terms, that is the court bail he's currently enjoying. Now, when the judge heard that, he proposed that today there should be an in-camera meeting between the lawyers for the Kwabena Edubuahin and the Attorney General, and that was what transpired this morning. Now, after that meeting, the case was called. Now, this is giving a sense that indeed, when the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayini, made the point that he has intelligence, indeed he has something. And that is what has convinced the judge to keep or to order that Kwabena Edubuahin be kept in the custody of Yoko for 7 days. His lawyer, Atachia, pleaded with the court to include the weekends so that Kwabena Edubuahin would have been in the custody of Yoko for 5 days. But the judge insisted that he really wanted the Attorney General to have 7 full days and not 5 working days as Atachia wanted to make the case in open court. It was a back and forth, but the judge made the point and stood his ground, and the ruling stood. So Kwabena Edubuahin will be doing 7 days in the custody of Yoko. Now, the second and the third accused persons, that is Edubuahin's wife and the other person involved in this particular matter, would keep on enjoying their current bail terms. Let's get a few words from the Deputy Attorney General, who is walking to his vehicle right now. Well, so he doesn't want to really say anything. That's the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Shremsai. He came in, but he didn't represent the state. The state was represented by a principal state attorney, largely because Dr. Shremsai appeared, quote and unquote, naked before the court, and so couldn't make a case. He allowed it, he passed it on to the principal state attorney, who did the case.
And that's Latif there, our legal affairs correspondent, bringing in the very latest that former National Signals Bureau boss Edubuahin has been remanded into prison custody. We'll bring you the very latest on this in subsequent bulletin. But we end in the bulletin, President Mahama, who shared some light-hearted moments of the Black Star Experience event yesterday.
Jifa said, we will succeed because the steer is in your hands. I almost said, Mama is steer, no, but I realized the steer is in my hands already. Thank you. I remember I asked that they don't show foreign films on the presidential jet anymore, and that we should watch Ghanaian movies. And no, this was when I was president before. And I'm going to give the edict again. The plane is gone for service. When it comes, I'll ask them to change all the repertoire and put Ghanaian movies. And I watched a very interesting one between Lil Wayne and, I've forgotten his name, our half-caste. When some armed robbers attacked him in conspiracy with his wife, and then Lil Wayne and his wife found him lying down. And the wife said, oh, I'm Roberts. And Abunosa. And Lil Wayne said, Debi, Obroni, Ofi play mun etofom.
And that's about all we have for you on our desk this morning. Thank you very much for your company.